Well, the Audio Publishing Handbook is part 2 of the TurnKey Publisher series, and it really follows because that's the path that I traveled. You know, I started with the books, but I also knew audio was also a very powerful way to publish and also a quick way to publish. And so the Audio Publishing Handbook really outlines my approach. It simplifies a lot of the things that, traditional publishers do. And unlike traditional publishers, I encourage people to not just do audio books, but just do entire audio programs. There are so many ways to create audio. If you're able to speak, I mean, even this, what we're doing, this show could be a program that you could audio publish, for example. And so, and quite frankly, I could find no book on audio publishing. Now today, I think I found one other book that I find is credible, but that's pretty much it. I mean, I felt there was a need, and I just think that there's a whole segment being ignored.
Well, it's got all the information in here if someone wants to walk down that road, and I agree. I think audio publishing is important, and that leads us to video publishing. Are you going to have a book on that?
I knew that question was going to come up at some point. The issue with video publishing is that it overlaps with existing film and video-oriented type of books. So I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to go in that direction yet. I mean, certainly I believe in video marketing, but I'm going to give that one a little bit more time.
Well, okay, and I know that you do have quite a few video clips on YouTube.
Yes.
So you are adding that to your marketing mix.
Yes, I am.
And tell us a little bit about that.
You know, it's a natural evolution. Like, right now people have broadband connection, high-speed connections, okay? But back then there was a lot of dial-up. So audio was about the best you could do. And I'm always about creating a connection with a listener or with a potential audience. The closer they can get to you, the more they're likely to trust you, believe in you, and so forth. So audio was a way to win them over as far as, they can listen to me. Well, video just takes that a step further. They can see you, they can hear you, and they can just assess whether or not they want to listen to you and follow your information and so forth. It's about ongoing exposure, and I think it's great practice if you ever want to get onto, larger media like TV. So
Definitely.
That's the way I look at it. I'm a very practical guy.
Well, yes, I love that, and something I recommend with my clients too is that they definitely have clips available because media, they look for that. They want if you're trying to get on a television show, and it could be any media would come and check you out, but particularly television. What is really great to have on YouTube is having you do a show, having you actually do a TV show so they can see how you interact on the air. If that hasn't happened yet, you can get a clip on there that shows you at your best, giving your best piece of information and wearing the right clothes. You don't want to have big, huge, bright patterns that will distract people, or huge jewelry, or great big hoop earrings that, click down near the microphone. I mean, those kinds of things. You want to make sure that it's your best material and your best foot forward. So I think video is incredibly important.
And that sparks of thought that we talked about a little bit earlier, what not to do, but also relates to video, is don't make things overly complicated. Start simple, and that's what I did, and then improve as you go. It's a Microsoft philosophy that I picked up when I was in the IT world. They're not interested in making it the best. They're interested in getting it out there and improve it as you go. And because you can always phase out the stuff you don't like as time goes. So that's my advice. Start simple. Get it out there.
Because you'll get feedback from people.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And more importantly, you get to practice. It feels good. You need those little attaboys. You need those little mini accomplishments versus just getting stuck and trying to get this complicated product out that never sees the day of life. You know what I mean?
That sparks another thought, because that really taps into people who have that perfectionistic kind of tendency. They don't want to put anything out there until it's perfect, until they're really happy with it. And I hear you giving a completely different message.
Well, the perfection thing comes up all the time, and one of the things I learned years ago is don't shoot perfection, shoot for excellence. You can be excellent without being perfect. Remember, in school, 90% was still an A. Right?
Good. That's very good. Speaking of school, is that something you recommend for people getting a? I know you have a master's in business administration, correct?
Yes,
so,
I do.
As people are going with their businesses, where do you stand on that? Some people really believe in getting a formal, full education, and others say, hey, the streets will teach you,
That's a great question. I think that if you have the opportunity to go to college, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a great experience. However, in my case, it was a struggle. I mean, I almost didn't go because I had to work full-time for the entire 7 years, and I was going at night, so 7 long years to get a 4-year degree. And there are people who can't make that journey because they have to work, and that's why I'm a big proponent of publishing. There are some people, they're never going to be able to go back to college. It's just too slow. They have too many obligations. And so I'm a big proponent that, which I discovered, is that writing a book and doing it well and investing, a couple $1,000s in it can leapfrog you so quickly. I mean, that's how I established myself so quickly in the real estate investor field, because I wrote a series of books. It wasn't like I was the best investor, I wasn't the wealthiest, but you know what? I wrote about what I did, why I did it, and how I did it. And it gave me an incredible amount of credibility, and it helped me raise funds and so forth. So it's been a wonderful experience to
You're
leapfrog.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, well, thank you.
No, you are. You're very inspiring.
Well,
Go ahead.
you have. Yeah, well, I guess the passion comes from trying to make things happen versus having people tell you how you can't do it. I look for ways of how you can. And that's why you stopped me all up when you said, well, what you shouldn't do, because I don't focus on that at all. I focus on what you can do.
Okay.
What you are working with.
Matthew Chan is our guest today. Matthew, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Great information, encouraging people to pick up the TurnKey Publishing series, the TurnKey Publisher's audio publishing handbook, and The Intrepid Way, and anything else. How can people reach you?
Well, they can come and visit me at turnkeypublisher.com. And if that's too much of a mouthful, just type in my name, MatthewChan.com. You hit my blog, and then you can see all the other things that I do.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Joanne, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.
So that was Matthew Chan joining us today. Just a reminder that my How to Turn Your Book into a Mega Bestseller is coming up. It's a teleseries starting on October 6th. 2 hours in the evening. It's a total of 4 sessions. We'll have lots of great information for you if you already have a book and you want to turn it into a bestseller, or you have an idea for your book and you also want to turn it into a bestseller once you get it written. It's never too soon to start learning the principles of publicity and marketing through online and offline means, so please join me for that. All the information is on my website at www.joannemccall.com. So this is another session of Your Brand on Blog Talk Radio. Thanks so much for joining me today, and we will see you again next week, the same time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Friday, or 11:30 a.m. Pacific Time. So have a great and productive and successful week. We'll see you then.
You have been listening to Blog Talk Radio and your host, Joanne McCall. Produced by Joanne McCall Media Group. Written by Gary Lee and Bridget Mintz. Join us for more on how to generate more visibility in the marketplace for your book, product, business, service, or cause. For more on Ms. McCall, please visit her website at www.joannemccall.com.